Good evening and thank you for joining us. The countdown to Christmas has officially hit single digits. Many are packing shopping malls looking for the perfect present. But when it comes to your holiday shopping, will you be spending more than you did last year? Well, a recent survey says Canadians may be in a giving mood. Elise Cox has more.
Our local mall is packed with shoppers as Christmas nears, and a recent survey done by the Bank of Montreal says these holiday shoppers will be spending more this year. Christmas shopping is expected to take about a $200 jump to just over $16,000, and of that total, about $600 is expected to be spent on Christmas gifts. Some numbers that don't surprise shoppers.
I think it's probably pretty normal. Not shocking at all, especially for people that have kids.
$600 on gifts, probably agree with that.
It seems normal. People go overboard, and then you forget, oh, I need to buy someone that gift or whatever. There's always something extra to buy, or the kids don't quite even out the way you had hoped. So yeah, no, that's not surprising at all.
The survey suggests the top reasons for increased spending are having more people to shop for, and Canadians are better off financially this year. And of the people who responded to the survey, half of them say they only set a loose budget for the holidays, which was about the same for the shoppers we spoke to.
We probably spend that $600 on gifts, or maybe a little more.
I just have the one, so usually I spend maybe about $200 to $300. But, you know, stocking stuffers and then food for Christmas dinner and how many family you have coming over and stuff, it all adds up.
The survey suggests holiday purchases were restrained by Canadian household debt last year, but concluded the improving economy has allowed Canadians to be less hesitant to opening their wallets this holiday season. Elise Cox, Newcap News.
We first told you yesterday that the Alberta Education Minister has banned the use of lanyards in all provincial schools. Now this after a young Calgary area boy was found unconscious hanging from a lanyard in the bathroom. It's not known if this decision will affect schools here in the border city. Dr. Michael Diachuk, the Director of Education for Lloydminster Public School Division, tells Newcap News he's not sure if schools here use lanyards, but say they will review the issue this week. The border city was rocking last night, all thanks to the Sheepdogs. Now, they are a rock band out of Saskatoon, currently on a Canadian tour. The band was relatively unknown until a coveted spot on a music magazine changed all of that.
Hi, I'm Ewan.
And I'm Ryan, and we're from the Sheepdogs.
The Sheepdogs have become a staple on rock stations across the country, a different scenario just a few years ago. The group has been thrown into the limelight thanks to this Rolling Stone magazine cover. They were the first unsigned band to grace the cover, thanks to a competition. Now, ever since, the band has been getting rave reviews.
Great reaction. Lots of people very enthusiastic to hear the new songs live as well.
Yeah, we've been just kind of traveling around ever since the album came out, so it's kind of been a non-stop year. But no, reactions have been really good, both here and in the U.S. as well, and all over the place.
The guys played a show in the border city Saturday night. They've been on tour for the past 11 months. They are promoting their new self-titled album that came out 3 months ago.
I think the fact that we've been a band for as long as we have kind of helped us deal with any of those pressures. So, I mean, there is a lot of eyes on us, but we were up for the challenge.
The band had recently signed with Atlantic Records, with a new album being produced by the Black Keys drummer Patrick Carney.
They're a rock band that is able to appear, on commercial radio and a lot of avenues that, good old rock music wasn't being heard from in a long time. So I think, we kind of want to follow a little bit in that footsteps, but, still do our own thing as well. And Pat helped us to do that.
As for what's next for the Sheepdogs, they plan on taking a break in the new year, but that will be short-lived. They will be back on the road and possibly more recording as well.
Emmett Murphy joined me on the desk for a first look at sports. Now, the Bobcats have been on the road for some time in December, but finally back at home. So if you're craving some hockey action, it was there.
They hadn't done too well on the road either, losing 4 straight today. Interesting game as they took on the Wolverines for the first time, considering the Bobcats almost went to Whitecourt a year and a half ago. First period, Wolverines can't clear the zone. Eric Therrien gets the shot away. Robin Carlson can't bury the rebound. Same shift, another bad pass in front. Jason Wark can't capitalize. So finally, Whitecourt figures out how to clear the zone. It goes right to Matthew Gerton. He slides it over to Jerome Raymond, robbed by Devin Green. That's followed up by a thundering Jordan Wozniak body check. Cats looking good early on, and they get a golden opportunity moments later, but just send it wide. Second period, Cats with more pressure, but they can't convert on the wraparound. It's still scoreless. Bobcats, Grant Baker passes on the 2-on-1. Colton Anderson provides the rebound. Baker misses the open net. And after all that, the visitors get on the board. Trace Elson with the power play marker, 1-0. From there, the rough stuff starts. Jerome Raymond's elbow on Tanner Dunkel starts a good rumble that heightens after Dunkel jumps in for a little bit of revenge. 132 minutes and penalties were handed out in the second period alone, thanks in part to that fight, and this scuffle that ensues after Kelvin Waltz gets dumped into the boards. A really good rivalry starting between the two teams as it's a close game. In the final minute of the second, Cats on the power play. They get on the board with a Tanner Dunkel marker. This game's tied heading into the third. But the Wolverines take control in a 5.5-minute stretch of the third, scoring a pair of power play goals and then a pair of shorthanded markers. The Cats outshot the Wolverines 35-21, but Devin Green allowed all 5 goals. Jerome Raymond had a pair of goals for Whitecourt as the Bobcats lose their 5th straight 5-2. Tanner Dunkel has 4 goals in his last 5 games for the Cats. The Bonnyville Pontiacs gave themselves a little more breathing room in the North Division standings as they handed the Whitecourt Wolverines a 3-2 loss last night in a shootout. The Pontiacs outshot Whitecourt 23-5 after the first, but still needed Tommy Barch and Jackson Dudley to score in the shootout for the win. The Ponts are now in sole possession of second. The Universal Heat got their expected result yesterday against the Camrose Vikings. The Vikes have yet to win a game this year as the Heat dummied them 8-1. There are just 2 games left next weekend before the second half of the season for the Heat. And the Baker Hughes Bobcats had an absolutely wild game yesterday against Calgary. The Cats led 1-0 after 1 before giving up 4 unanswered goals. But the Orange and Black scored 4 goals in the final 9 minutes to win 5-4. Connor James had a pair of third-period goals, while Tyler Bush scored the winner with 2:34 to play. They couldn't keep pace against the Calgary Buffaloes as they were shut out 5-0. And how about them Rage? The Lloydminster Rohan Rage won their 4th in a row, toppling Edmonton MLAC 7-5. It was the most goals the Rage allowed this season, but they backed it up by scoring the most they have this year. The win puts them just 3 points back of top spot in the North with a pair of games in hand.